Hello, preschool friends. I hope you're doing well. I really hoped that I would not have to do our little award ceremony this year over video, but I don't want you to miss out on it. So this is kind of the highlight of my year at the end, is to get to see all of you, what you have done and what you have accomplished this year. And I was looking back today on the pictures from the first day of school, and it just made me cry to think about how far we've all come this year. So that's even our 3 and our 4-year-olds. This week when you pick up, usually we have a big ceremony. We had planned that we were going to have it at St. Mary's. We're going to have our graduation. We were going to have new songs to sing and kind of talk about the others, and then I get to talk about each one of you briefly, and then we'd have something super fun. We'd come back, have snacks in the room, and I had planned for us to go bowling. So unfortunately that's not the case, but I'm hoping that this summer I'm going to try to, as soon as what the state says, if they lift things up a little and we can be in groups of more than 10, I'm hoping that we can have a picnic. So, and then we'll all get together and do that. But yes, in your, actually this week you will have bags, and those will have some of the stuff that's left at the school this year. Since we put all of our crayons and everything together and use them like community, I split those up and sprayed them all down, and those will be ready for you at school, along with some of the work I was keeping. So one of the main things, and this one's Paul, is I will have your preschool diploma. Some of you are going into kindergarten with the new kindergarten teacher next year. Some of you might be going up to Miss Andrea for 4-year-old preschool. And some of you, even, I think I have 6 of you that are staying with me for next year. So for some of us, it's not goodbye. And anytime you see me at the school, please come up and give me a hug. And I like to see everyone smiling and see how they're doing. And yeah, so everyone will have a diploma. But one of the fun things I like to do is I have some awards that throughout the year, I think about what I would give to each one of you. So I think I have 2 for everyone that I've selected this year. Sometimes I tend to do more, but I just really hate that we're not together for this. So my first award I have is for a little guy in my room who, anytime we would talk about our letter cans and we'd have an animal out of the letter can, he would sit attentively and he would just smile from ear to ear. And I always like to give that one most likely to become a zookeeper. So my friend that is most likely to become a zookeeper this year is Eddie. So Eddie, this will be in your bag when you come to pick it up this week. My next award goes to one of my friends who always makes me think of that when they grow up, they are so going to be a movie star. We're going to see them. And the one I gave that to you this year was Miss Claire Dodson. And I thought this one was perfect for you. So the next student that I have an award for is most likely to become a teacher. Now, this friend joined us late in the year, but if she was playing kitchen or she was back in the library or whatever, she was the one that would help others, and she was doing a couple sight words, and she would sit back there and just talk to everyone. And so my most likely to become a teacher this year is Miss Miley. So Miley, this one will be waiting for you. The next little guy in my room this year, it just melted my heart. Anytime somebody was sad, he would always go over to see what was wrong. He was very concerned about others' feelings, and he always had a smile to go with it. So this year's most likely to cheer you up goes to Eli. Eli, I felt like this was perfect for you. This year, one of the main things I like to work on in preschool, I think it's super important, is our manners. And Miss Brandy is a huge stickler for please and thank you. So, one of my students that's going to get the most polite award this year is Miss Claire Morrow. Miss Claire always said please, always said thank you, and always had a smile to give to a friend. So that would just most certainly fit her. Now, this one kind of gives Miss Brandy gray hair throughout the year, and it is my most fearless friend. Now, this friend, we had to have some talks about playground safety a couple times because he was just full board all of the time, and he loved his friends. And so this year, my most fearless award goes to Eddie. So Eddie, you are my most fearless friend for the year because you would always just approach everything just with, you could do it and off you go. So I felt like that was the perfect one for you. My next friend, he was always, I call him my most trustworthy. He was always able to tell me if I had to walk out of the room what was going on, or not like tattling type, but things that, we always said that, is it tattling, or, is somebody get hurt? Is somebody being bullied? And he was pretty good at distinguishing that. So my most trustworthy, the one I could trust if I had to leave the room for a second, is Nicholas. So Nicholas, you have my most trustworthy this year. My next friend loved to draw. One of her favorite places was sitting at whatever art we had, or special center that I had put down for the day, or and that she loved to paint, and just any type of art media that I brought out, she wanted to be right there in the middle of it, and drawing and creating. And so my most creative this year is Miss Cadence. So Miss Cadence, this one will be in there. My next one is someone who sometimes maybe not understand stuff at first, but kept working through it. And pretty soon to be coming close to right before we left for spring break, she was being such a leader in some areas. So my most determined student this year was Miss Callie. Miss Callie, you just did phenomenal this year. So that award was just perfect for you. One of my friends that always would come in, that was always concerned about others, and would make things and give them to his friends. And I always think of him as the most thoughtful. Miss Sarah was there, and myself, and would say, "Oh, you look like you're having a bad day," Miss Sarah or Miss Brandy, and bring us a card. So my most thoughtful student this year is Grayson Anderson. So most thoughtful is coming to you. Another person that did so well at the art table, she loved, and she was with Cadence sitting there a lot, and most artistic, very artistic. You could always tell what she was drawing, and there was a lot of thought in what she did. So my best artist this year goes to Miley. So Miley, and you come to us late in the year, so we wish we could have had you from the beginning, but we know, things happen, and we're just glad that you joined us later, and I'm so thankful, next year you'll be with your friends in kindergarten. So this friend always come to class dressed to the nines, and he was always very fashionable, and his hair was always perfect. So my friend this year with the best style was Mr. Drew, and he was just always there looking, dressed up, and he was just perfect. So Drew, you're my best style this year. My next friend that I have, the best singer in my class. Any song that I put up, she would always sing along. I never had to say, usually when we're sitting there, we're singing, and Miss Brandy would go like this behind her ear, like, "I can't hear you." And she would always raise her voice up so everyone could hear. and that is Miss Claire Morrow. So Miss Claire, I'm giving you my Best Singer Award this year. We have a lot of boys that are done baseball and t-ball and things like that. So sometimes out in the playground, it gets a little competitive. PE is I wish I would have had our PE teacher come in and talk a little bit just how competitive our 3 and 4 year olds were this year. So my best athlete was going to hear, always had, was a good sport about everything. There was never any tears. And he was just a friend of all. So my best athlete this year also goes to Mr. Drew. All right. So several of we have friends in our class that sometimes when we're doing our morning thing and I forget something, or they always know the answer to the things and I can always look to them for that. And this student here has grown so much in the last 2 years that I've had him. And so I like to give out the Best Memory Award. I could always count on him to let me know when I forgot something or for the answer to something, math. And yes, so my friend with the best memory in our room is Mr. Paul. So Paul, you are my best memory. You always keep me on track. Also, we have leaders in our class. We always have some that can go up to the front and kind of get friends to line up with them or get in line. And he was really good about when we had our X's on the floor at the beginning of the year. That is where you stand. You have to stand here and you got to face the front and look at Miss Brandy. So my legendary leader for this year is Mr. Grayson Schwartz. So nice job, friend. Every morning you would see a lot that I would post videos and different things of us dancing in the morning. And I always felt like if we had a chance in the morning to get the wiggles out, and I would put fun, little Go Noodle or Just Dance or something on there so that we could just get up, get our wiggles out, and then we could sit down and we were ready to learn. And I wish there were several people I could give this award to, but the one that I want to point out right now for the best dancer is Nicholas. Nicholas is always up there getting those wiggles out and with all of our friends, and we would say, hey, come over here with me, let's do this. So really good. My next friend I have is, I like to give out the Stellar Citizen Award, who maybe a couple tears in the morning up until after mom left, but followed rules. I don't think sat in the think spot at all this year, and really good about supporting her friends in our class. So our friend that is the Stellar Citizen Award for this year is Miss Callie. So nice job, Miss Callie. Let's see. I want to go, there we go. I like to give out the Best Laugh Award because I have this friend in our class that I hear him laugh and it just makes my heart smile. And he has the best little laugh. And I know so many of us, there are so many friends that I could give this to. But my best laugh for this year definitely belongs to Mr. Jackson. So Jackson, always good for a smile and a laugh. And yeah, great, it was great getting it to work with you the last couple of years. My next friend, like to give out the Bookity Bookworm. So this friend absolutely loved going into the back, towards halfway. I got up a listening center up and running, would sit back there, would follow words. He was working on sight words with me. He knew how to spell his name. He could tell me, just about anything. And so he would also, we had some really easy readers back there, would sit back and read with some of our friends in the back. So I wish this didn't say this because it almost sounds derogatory, but the Bookity Bookworm I would like to change this to class librarian, is awarded to Sullivan. So Sullivan, if this is the perfect reward, I think, for you this year. My next friend was always able to help. A couple of times we had tablets out, and he could sometimes figure those out better than I can. Mr. Wessling made several trips with technology in my room because I'm just not quite there yet. So my technology wizard for this year is Grayson Schwartz. So Grayson did a wonderful job when I needed help with that, and I felt like that was the perfect reward for him. And this is another one that I don't want to make it sound bad because I don't feel like it is, as our class comedian. So this friend was always trying to make people smile. If he's seen somebody was like down acting, or maybe was playing off by themselves, would always just take it upon himself to go off and just do, just be a friend to everyone. There wasn't anyone in the room that he was not a friend with. So my class comedian goes to Grayson Anderson. So nice job, Grayson. Okay, my next one I like to give out is a first class friend. So this year we had a couple friends that knew each other before they came in, but we had two friends that were always together. But then we started branching out a little bit, and I noticed him start becoming friends with more in the classroom and kind of come out of his comfort zone. And so my award for the first class friend this year goes to Eli. So Eli, I know you and Callie knew each other before, and but here you really grew halfway through the year, and it was just amazing. So another award that I like to give out is to someone that I feel is the kindest in our room. So this friend was, sometimes he wore his heart on his sleeve, and he would get his feelings hurt from time to time, but usually a hug and he was on his way, which was big since this was his second year with me. And he would just, first he'd not liking hugs too much, but then as we went on, and I'm such a hugger, so that's why I do well in preschool. I want to give my kindest heart award this year to Mr. Jackson. So Jackson, I feel like you're the kindest heart in our whole room. During our morning meetings, in our group time in the morning, I always liked to give out those $10 words. I like to call them. Oops, I have to excuse my dog. She's running around here. These huge words, and I would always say, do you know what this is? And we would try to compare and things and talk about it. And I realized this year, about a month in, I had to really struggle to find some words for him because he had such an expressive vocabulary for our classroom. So my best vocabulary award this year goes to Everest. So Everest, I feel like you always like to use those type of words when you talk, and it really impressed me for a 4-year-old knowing some of those things. So yes, I have a friend in our room that I felt made a lot of improvement this year in handwriting. So much to the point that she would ask me to write sentences down, and she would sit back and write sentences in our classroom that were, neat and spaced, and I couldn't believe the work that she did. So my friend this year for the best handwriting is Miss Claire Dodson. So Claire, your handwriting was just amazing this year. Another award I like to give out is Master Scientist. So this friend in my class was always wanting to know what we are going to do next. I don't know if I ever got the pictures up, which I'm going to upload. Miss Brianna come in and did a baking soda volcano, and he was right up there. He wanted to try things and see when we did the color mixes with the colors and this color and this color put together, what color did they make? he was there, and sometimes he even came to school dressed like a scientist in his coat. So our Master Scientist Award goes to Mr. Paul this year. So Paul, I believe that you were our Master Scientist out of all of our friends. I have an award here for a friend that, for being responsible in our room, who I could always count on to, after she was finished putting things away, and we learned a lot from that this year. So my most responsible person in the class, I gave that award this year to Cadence. So Cadence, nice job. I've just got a couple left here. The next one I have is my master reader, and I talked to him about him earlier, about all the words and vocabulary and everything else that he had, and Mom had sent me some videos anyway, seeing him reading, and totally just, I think he'll be ready for kindergarten next year. And my master reader goes to Sullivan. So nice job. The last award I have this year is our master mathematician. I'm tripping over my tongue here. And this person came in, and I was able to work some one-on-one with him, and was doing addition and subtraction right up around Christmas. And when we came back, we continued to do that before we were unfortunately had to go to online learning. So my person this year, my master mathematician, that I felt like just amazed me, was Everest. So I'll have all of these awards waiting for you at the school. And a couple times here, I'm trying not to cry or break down. I've talked to a couple parents, and I have to say, I mean, for a teacher, I'm getting ready to start 7 years. I came to the game late in life, but this has absolutely been my most favorite year ever as a teacher. The class this year was just amazing, and I really hate that we were cut short. But I want to thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful summer, and I will see a lot of you in the fall. So God bless. A lot of you have my number, and if you want to send me a picture or anything like that, I would love it. So have a great summer, friends.